In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create subtitles in Premiere Pro to add them to your video. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. So what you need to do is go to the project window, you right click, and then you go to new item, and then go down to captions. Okay. Now here you're going to have the standard. In the standard, you've got several different options. Okay. Now the option that I usually go for is open captions. Now there's a reason for this. It's because it burns the actual captions in the video. You can also, a lot of people might not know this, but you can also export open captions and use them as an SRT file. I just find open captions to be the most flexible option. You've got your time base, so you have to make sure that it's matching the frame rate at which you shot at. So I shot at 25 frames per second, so that's fine. Your resolution, so that's 1920 by 1080 pixels, square pixels, that's fine, and we press OK. And then here you have this window that will pop up here. Okay, so this is the captions window, as you can see here. If you look in the project panel here, you can see it's created an open captions file here. So what you do is you drag that onto the timeline, stretch it out across the footage. I'll just move that up here. Okay, so I'll just put it across the entire timeline. Now here you can see this is the caption window. Okay, this is where you would type, as it says, type in caption here. So select this with the cursor and then just move it to where the speech, the dialogue is happening in your video, or where you want to add the captions in your video. So I want to start it here.
I have been training Jiu-Jitsu for like 1 year and 6 months.
What we do is then add the dialogue in this box here. So now I've added my caption here. What you need to do then is you can position it in a certain position. So you've got your text. You might want to center align it, for example. And then this box here, this controls the positioning of the actual captions. So if I press this little box here, as you can see, it moves it to the middle, center frame. I can move it up here if I want, if I press this box, but for now we're just gonna have it here. Okay, so that looks pretty well aligned here. This now, what I want to do is, if you want to change this and you don't want this specific style, you can change that here. Like you can change the font if you want, so I can go from Helvetica to whatever font I want. Okay, say Sans for example. You can change if it's bold, italic here. You change the size of the font here. Okay, so that can make it bigger or smaller. Also, you have the background color. So right now, the background color is black. So if I select that, then select here, I can change that to a different color. So now it's red. Or if I don't want a background color at all, while having the background color selected, if I go to this little icon here where it says 100%, I can move down the percentage all the way to 0 if I want, and then now it disappears. Also, with this, say I want the color of the text, I don't want it to be white, I want it to be, say, yellow, for example. What we do with this selected, we go here to text color and then select this little box here, which is white currently. And then you can just move the color picker to a different color. So for example, say, like I said, maybe I want it yellow, and now it's yellow. Okay. Now you can also add an edge color to it, so that has a slight border. So again, it's currently black. Maybe I want to make it red, for example. Now it's red. Okay. But we'll change it back to black because that's not a great color match. So okay, and you can adjust the edge of the text here to make it a little more bold if you want. So if I just go back to the red color, there you go. So you can change the edge just by moving that, toggling the number up and down, so it has a slight pop to it if that's what you want. Okay, so I'll just change that back to black again. But that's just to show you can do that if you need it to stand out more. Here you have your X and Y axis. So this again controls the positioning of the text manually. Okay, so you can do that here. This has a bit of more of a structure to it. So if you just press, I usually keep it at the center on the bottom of the square, and that's a really nice positioning for your subtitles. Okay. And then I would continue. If I wanted to continue, this little icon here, the add caption, you just press that. Okay. And then it creates another one. And then I believe she says it really boosts my confidence. Okay. So let's listen.
It really, really boosts your confidence.
So then you just drag the text out to the length of the dialogue in the timeline, as you can see here. So now we have our sequence with our subtitles now attached. I'm going to show you how to export the video with the subtitles burnt into the video. So we're going to select our in and out points. So I for in, O for out. Okay, so this is the little sequence that we want to export. So go to File, Export, Media, or Command E for short. Now we have our export settings. So within your export settings, you can now see a little preview of the clip here. So you can see that the subtitles are burnt into the video. This is the clip that we're going to export, and I'm happy with that. So obviously you're going to check your video settings, make sure that's all okay. But we're going to go to the captions window here. Okay. Now you have export options, burn captions into video. So you have to make sure that that's selected, okay? Because you can either have none, which it will then obviously take that away, and then you can create an SRT file here as well. But I don't usually do it this way, but we'll just do the burn in video for now. So we're going to burn the captions into the video and then export. Okay, so now that's exported. Let's check our video and see what it looks like. Okay, so here's our footage now. Let's just test it out and see what it looks like.
I have been training Jiu-Jitsu for like 1 year and 6 months. It really, really boosts your confidence.
So if you don't want the captions burnt in, I'm going to now show you how you can export the captions as an SRT file, so you can have the subtitles as a separate file, so that if you have it on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever, you can press the CC button and have that closed caption pop up when people need it, and then when they don't, they can watch the video without the subtitles. There's a few different ways of doing this, but this is the way that I find most efficient. So in Premiere Pro, we go to our timeline, select the in and out point. So this is the sequence that I'm going to be exporting. Then you select the captions file, make sure that's selected. Okay, so it's not selected here, that it's actually selected on the captions. You go to File, Export, Captions. Okay, now this window will pop up. What we need to do is export this subtitled format SRT file, press OK. And we're going to select where we're going to export that. So I'm just going to do that to the desktop for now. I'll call it BJJ, open captions, and press save. Okay, so now it's saved the file as an SRT file. Okay, if I go to my desktop, I've now got this file as an SRT file that I can use across like all my social media platforms or whatever broadcast requirements I might need. So again, I can even drag this into the project itself. So if I deselect that, this little sequence here, where the in and out point is the SRT file that I actually exported. So if I drag that onto the timeline, now have our SRT file here.
I have been training Jiu-Jitsu for like 1 year and 6 months. It really, really boosts your confidence.
Okay, so as you can see, it's created an SRT file that can now be used across social media. So again, if I want to bring it into the timeline, then I can edit it as I would normally do. So everything's here. Like if I want to change like everything as before, like increase the size of the text, I can do that here. You know, I can remove the backgrounds as before. I can do all the same things that I did when I was manually creating it in Premiere Pro. But the great thing about this video now I've created here, I can export it as a clean file without any subtitles burnt in, add it to YouTube, and then that separate SRT file that I created, I can now upload that into YouTube and have it as a closed caption file, so that again my viewers can toggle on and off the closed captions to the video, and they can actually read the subtitles if they need to, and if they don't need to, they can turn that off. Another problem people find in post-production is they might have recorded audio with really bad low frequency noise. So check out this video on how to remove background noise in Premiere Pro, and check out this video, you might enjoy as well. Until next time, this has been Aston Regis, helping you tell your story through video. Peace.